going to the movies is always thrilling to me, but given that was there on set with you 2 years ago in Cape Town, like watching what you guys did with this one is particularly thrilling. I mean, it was thrilling being on there, standing on the Admiral ship and all that sort of stuff. So Paul, it must be like a marathon to have, on set and then the post. Is there a part of shooting this one or working on it in post that you found a little bit more gratifying, or is it all and then getting to see this relentless action that we get to see?
There's no part of filmmaking that I don't love. I mean, I enjoy the entire process. If I had to pick a favorite part, it would probably be the shooting. And for me, on this movie, shooting in the remote landscapes that we went to was the most incredible experience. Going and living in these tent villages, hundreds of miles from the nearest habitation, working in extreme temperatures, both hot and cold, with storms and spiders and snakes. It was a real kind of old school adventure. And I think we captured some of that adventure in the movie that we made.
Yeah, most definitely.
One of those shows like survival television shows,
Yeah, while we were shooting the movie.
Except you get a kick-ass product in the end, So Milla, let me ask you this, because do you think out of all the action that you've done, was this one that required like even more laser focus and discipline because of the nature of the character and the leader that she is?
I definitely think so, because the training was such an integral part of my character. And, it's so difficult to become a female Army Ranger. And so for me, I really wanted to bring those challenges into my life on an everyday basis, like on a physical level. So I actually started training for the movie, like definitely 6-7 months before we started filming, to just get myself not only into the peak shape that I could, but I felt like because the physical aspect is so important, I wanted to really challenge myself on a daily basis physically, to kind of understand the mindset of a soldier and to have that discipline.
All right, so Paul, do you want to add something?
On your game as well.
That's true. I mean, that was very humbling to be able to fight with Tony.
Yeah, I mean, so Paul, let me ask you this, because I know within the cast, there's an embarrassment of riches in terms of talent. You can't pick any favorites. But how about with the monsters? Was there a particular monster that you were looking forward more to sort of getting on screen or shooting, or was having it all?
Well, I mean, all of the monsters are great. I mean, but in different ways. The Nasilla is just so scary and disgusting. It's very gratifying in that, to hang Milla upside down in a slimy cocoon and have her crawl around in the Nasilla nest. That's great in its own way. But then the Rathalos is like so big and so noble and so deadly. So each creature had its own strength, I would say. So they were all fun to work with.
Okay, so thank you for that. Actually, my wife last week directed her first short film, and I actually wrote the screenplay. So because you guys have been collaborating with each other for 20 years, when do you guys stop giving each other notes, or how do you handle that sort of situation? Because we're just going through the whole thing. Like, we just saw the rough cut of the short. So I kind of want if you could give us any advice on how to handle that part of it.
Well, I try and give Paul as many notes as I can before we start shooting, because, I know how stressful it is on the day for him, and how difficult it is to make changes like on the day. So usually by the time we start shooting, he's the one giving me notes, like in how he wants it to be done, stuff like that. And then I just do my best to kind of listen and try and give him.
But then post-production is, you're making another movie. There's two movies. There's the movie you shoot, and then there's the movie you edit. And again, Milla has great notes when it comes to editing. And I always try and keep an open ear, to anyone who has thoughts, because I'd rather hear it from a friend than kind of hear it from an angry audience member once the movie's finished. I'd rather. Even if it's a difficult note to hear sometimes, I'd rather get the bad news from a friend rather than from someone who's like throwing a Coke bottle at the screen, going, damn you.
Thank you for that. And my time is up. The movie is really, really great. Thank you so much.